I at some point I think it's really important that everybody can start to take the stuff that I'm talking about and kind of you know do it on their own, and that way yeah, I'm here so we can walk through whether it's you know any stock name, doesn't matter. We can go through each one, and then everybody tonight will pick one, and then we'll all do it together. um and you don't have to come off the mic or anything like that. Like if you just want to put it in the chat, that's fine. But to me, I think that is way more beneficial than uh, me always just talking it out. Because really, the thing that drew me to using this type of method in terms of trading was really its simplicity. It really is not very difficult. I think the hardest part at first is to just understand, like, wow, I don't need any of this other stuff on the chart. And once you see it, like I always say, you can't unsee it. And from that point, then it comes down to, okay, where have I found success using these strategies, whether it be playing a bounce off a fair value gap, or playing a rejection off a fair value gap, maybe playing a um I don't know, a liquidity sweep or something like that. Like there are so many different ways that you can go about it, and make money off of it and not need anybody else to help you out in the process. And I think that to me is A1, number one, in terms of being able to, be sustainable doing this long term and not just be a one hit wonder. Cause there are quite a few people on there who, maybe they post a $30,000 win day one time, and then you never hear from them again or something like that. So, um, that to me, that's the goal, and that should be really everybody's goal. I used to say this all the time at the beginning. I mean, it turns out that, we have a pretty cool group of people, but I used to say it all the time, like after the first couple of months, and some people took me up on it. But I was like, yo, like once you learn how to do this, like you don't need to be here anymore. You don't need to pay any monthly fee or anything like that. Like I'm sure that you'll be able to go on and do this by yourself. A lot of people ended up sticking around because they like, the group, and they like the people that they've met in there and everything like that. And then other people, they'll shoot me messages on Twitter, they'll send me wins and stuff, and it's just funny because they're like, yo, honestly, like as helpful as this could have been, I just feel like I do better when I don't have any outside noise. And that's totally something that's possible too. There's a lot of people that I know personally who they kill it, and then when it comes down time to be in a group or maybe even share ideas, they'll get the varying viewpoint and they just can't handle it. They're like, oh, I don't know, now I'm questioning myself. And I think really at the end of the day, coming to the conclusion by yourself, trading your own plan, not worrying about whatever anybody else says. I mean, you'll notice that me and what's up, Mikhail? You'll notice me and Ryan, sometimes we aren't on the same page with a lot of stuff. Um, but I know he does fine trading. So it's just interesting how there's two different perspectives. Sometimes it's just a time variable. Maybe my trade idea was a much shorter term play than his, or maybe on the flip side of that as well. So um, just little caveats here and there. But just to get down into it and to start this thing off, I want to first and foremost. Um, oh, Kale, I wasn't familiar with the name. Sorry, I didn't see that. But all right, so here's where we get a little interactive here. So if everybody just goes down into the chat, click that chat button, and don't matter what it is, I would prefer you to honestly do this on a little bit higher of a time frame. So whether that's a 30-minute chart, a hourly chart, even if you want to go to daily, weekly, doesn't matter. But the higher time frame, just so it's not as bunched. And I know that we're like transferring information through Zoom, or maybe you can share your chart on Discord. So if you want to go lower than 30, you could post it in the Discord chat, and we can review it there. But really, the idea that I had for tonight was everybody pick a stock. Hopefully, we get all different ones, and whatever time frame it is, we will one by one go through them. Again, you don't have to come off mute, you don't have to talk or anything like that. But what I'm going to do is see how you guys go about it. But for the 10 minutes that I give in between, I'll be kind of talking through. I'm going to do one as well. So, for example, if I were to click on, uh, I don't know, I'm not going to do this one, but say NVIDIA, I would go through NVIDIA and go step by step. Like, what would I look for first? second, third, map it out, and then try and determine my directional bias from that. Because I got to tell you, since that October low that we had this year, um, that changed the game for me. I had been on the right side with my bias in the past? Of course, I'm sure everybody has. But when I tell you, I every step of the way, I felt like I knew exactly where price was going. Your trading becomes 1,000,000% easier in that process when you have a good feeling as to where you think price is going to end up going, and it's all backed by evidence, right? You're not just saying, "Oh, I think we're going to go up because we sold off a lot." No, we have fabric behind this. Okay, I think that our draw of liquidity is blank because we reached down into discount, we got into a volume imbalance, we also swept liquidity, and so all those things combined. That's to me, the ultimate, trading cheat code, I guess you could say. Um, Sean said, "You read my mind." Which part was that, Sean? And then Raj said, "I always get stuck to pick the swing high low to draw the fib and look into the golden pocket." Yeah, yeah. So we'll go over the identifying the swings as well. So what I'm gonna do? Oh, Nvidia. Yeah, you can do Nvidia. Go for it. Yeah, I have that one done already. So I'm gonna try and look and see if I can do one that I don't already have done. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna share my chart. um, where do I do this? Out here, screen share, and I want to do my trading view right here. You're gonna see my beautiful upstart chart that is absolutely cooking right now. Um, so whatever your stock, if anybody right now, just go to the chat. I think this is going to be the most beneficial part of this entire session. Just go in, pick whatever ticker you want, and just drop it in there uh, right now. So, and that's the one that we're going to go through. Sweet. Okay, Gary, you got PG on lock. Once you call it, it's yours. Sean, if you want to do NVIDIA, you got it. UPS weekly, sweet. Okay. There's a few more people, I think, too. I'll give them a minute or so, but while I wait for everybody else, this upstart. Oh my God. Etsy, sweet Sean. Yo, this upstart chart is serious though, for real. SoFi, nice, Raj. I have shares of SoFi right now, actually. Um, but yeah, so I guess I could use this as an example just right off the bat. And I don't know if there's anybody else in the live right now. NVIDIA, preferably 30 or 15. Yeah, go for it. Yeah. So to me, if you're looking to like trade something like this like tomorrow and you want it to be like immediate and precise, you could do the lower time frame. Um, and is it really going to make all that much of a difference? No, not necessarily. I think having the highest time frame bias and then working your way down time frames is the most efficient. But um, I think if you have a good idea, even if you're just looking at the higher time frame and you already have your bias set, and then work your way back down that way, it's fine. So, but anyways, I'll use this SoFi example. So everybody just hop on over to your chart, whatever. If you could share this as well, this would be really the first time. Just I would wait until after I explain this one thing, especially Raj, because I know you're looking at the how to map the range. If you're struggling with mapping the range, just hold on tight for a minute and then you can get to charting. But if you have feel pretty good about charting the range, pop that up. You can get going on yours right now. But so yeah, no, Gary, you could post it in the chart. You can ask it however you want. I just for the purpose of like for me to share this with people who are not on right now, who asked me to record. I have to post it to YouTube. I just Sean actually just showed me a Loom, I think it's called, a place where I can just share the video and not open it. I'm also gonna see if I can maybe just have like a private chat to my YouTube, and that way um, you could do it that. Yeah, I know, Gary. You said sometimes the later sessions are a little more difficult to get onto. So I think this will be helpful for you too. I used to not want to record any of them because there used to be a lot of people who just like wouldn't show up or interact or anything like that and not put in any work. They would just like listen after and think that they were going to magically learn this without any practice. So, but but anyway, so if you're struggling right now, and Gary, you could type in your question. I'll get to it right after this. Um, but if we're looking for how we're going to map this range, so the way that I always look at this, and I typically do start with like a much larger scale and just look to the left and see, right? So you'll notice, obviously, Upstart is in a massive downtrend, right? That would be fair. From the highs at 401, we went all the way down to what's the low, $11, right? So that big down move. Obviously, if we're looking at a little bit longer of a time frame, specifically from 2022 to really midway through this year, it's been pretty bad, right? It's pretty bearish. But if we want to see if we can suck any points out of this thing, because one thing that I noticed right off the bat from this name is that this range is absolutely huge. And one thing that we know about huge ranges, oftentimes those retracements are pretty big. And you could score decent amount of points and make some good money on just bearish retracements in a sense, right? If you were to tell me that in 2 years Upstart was going to be defunct, it's not going to be a company anymore, I wouldn't even try to argue with you on that. I okay, maybe. But if we look at it from this perspective, like there could be an opportunity to make a good chunk of money on this name. And the reason why I think that is because I know just from, time, practice, back testing, oftentimes price likes to revisit 50% of the range, right? Now, I've never done one on these where the company just goes bankrupt and it shits the bed and it's gone. So I wouldn't tell you, I wouldn't know what would happen in that certain situation. And does it automatically mean that it has to go back to 50%? No, but by using that as the basis of my idea here, I'm going to look and see if we can get any short term little fluctuation in price that could give us a pretty decent and sizable range that we can make some serious money on, right? So, oh, cool, Mo. Sweet, man. You got Bank of America Weekly. Good. Sean, I already see you're done. Sweet. We'll look at those in a sec. But so obviously the overall trend is down, right? Fair enough. So I go from my swing high down to my swing low, right? And that's on a larger picture. But I want to look and see if we have any short-term opportunity and see if the trend may be different on a smaller time frame. So to me, let me just mark this one out right here. So this is what I always do as well, and this is really what I do before I map the range at all. I will have my swing highs, little highs and lows all mapped with this little horizontal ray. So those are what we would consider draws on liquidity. Those are possible places where the market would likely draw to, and my reasoning for that, or the backdrop to that, is what had to have happened at this point right here to drive price from $72 all the way down to 20, right? People had to be selling, right? And if that's the case, price is getting driven down this way with sell orders, right? People are selling to drive this price down. So by selling up in this vicinity, right, with substantial amount of money, enough money that's going to actually be able to move price, right? Not something that I have, and I don't know about any of you guys. Maybe Sean's got money to move, these tickers, but for me, not so much. But to me, and I understand that the market is run on liquidity, so the market needs money, and think of it as a car. That's your gasoline. Without that gasoline, the car ain't moving anywhere, right? And that's, a later time we'll discuss why I think volume is a lagger, and I think I can prove that pretty well. Um, but anyways, what would be the likely draw in this situation? So I'm just looking at some swing highs, swing lows, right? Seeing where the market might be or gravitating towards, or like a magnet to, in order to free up some more money, so this thing can continuously move, right? So I'll look right off the bat, and again, like I said, I like to identify all of these little swing highs, right? And if we're going to keep this on we're going to look on a small scale to see if we can get a market structure shift that happened more recently. That way we can actually make decisions and trade off of it. I look and see right to my left. Look, we took out that swing high with this price run from low to high, right? Right off the bat, you might say, okay, well, why isn't your fib like that? Well, here's the thing. The reason why my fib isn't here, and I'll do it just for the purpose of this, but ready, high to low. You'll notice, and let me just delete this one for a sec. You'll notice that we never retrace back to 50%. So to me, in that situation, the range is not set, right? So if the range is not set, I need to see where we actually reject and retrace back down to 50. So by doing this, I can literally go from each candle, no retest to 50, no retest to 50, no retest to 50, no retest to 50, boom. Oh, there it is. We got back down to 50. So to me, at this point, the range is set. So if the range is set and it's a bullish range, why would I say it's a bullish range even in this big downturn? Well, if I'm looking at this on a short-term perspective, can I be wrong? Absolutely, I can be wrong. But I want to be able to map this trade in a way where it is so precise that even if I do end up losing and I'm wrong, it's not going to be anything that's going to take me out of the game and I'm going to be wiped out from, right? It's very minimal. So again, obviously, Upstart might not be the best example for me because I didn't buy it off this candle. I bought it early this week on Monday. So while I'm still up quite a bit on it, it's not the perfect 79% or discount retracement for the run up. I didn't have eyes on it until last Friday. Actually, some random dude on Twitter gave, he was like, "Yo, take a look at this one." So we did it, but you'll notice that the reason why I have a bullish trend here is because we took out multiple little swing highs. Here's another one right here. We took out that swing high there too, right? So by taking out those swing highs, to me, that would put us in the bullish market structure, right? So with a bullish market structure, I'll draw my low to high, and then typically I'm waiting for a retracement back down into a discount. So below 50%, bullish imbalance, bingo, for that run up and back towards our draw on liquidity, which is 72.58. Did it take time? Yeah, this took a while. Like this is a weekly chart. Like this is since August that we've been just chilling out. But when you get down into that discount, I like my odds here. Just based on, again, practice, doing this over and over again, posting in that Mando model chat over and over again. It just solidifies the concept and that it actually works. And that's why I like, it's so cool when other people are in here and they're posting about it, that um, they've done it and they see it now and they're starting to use it. And guess what? I didn't have to alert one thing. They can all do this by themselves, and that's great. It's going to feel much better when you learn how to do this by yourself and not have to worry about anybody else, or look for anybody else's opinion. You almost feel like a pro at that point. The money part might come a little later, but you'll feel like a pro that you won't need to rely on somebody to like give you this crystal ball, if you will, right? Um, the ultimate goal for this group is to just have a group of like kick-ass traders. Everybody knows what they're doing, and we can bounce ideas off each other with like reasonable explanations. That's one thing that I take pride in. I always want to be able to give a reasonable explanation as to why I think Upstart's going to this level. I'm not just going to say, yeah, I think it's going to go here and be all cryptic about it. I'm going to say why. And look, am I going to be wrong? Yeah, I'm going to be wrong. Everybody's going to be wrong at some point or another. But as long as you have something to base your thesis or your idea off of, to me, just from watching myself, other people do this, um, more often than not, I think the odds are going to be in our favor as a result of that. So, one thing that I put in the Twitter post, because I posted this one on Twitter, I actually wrote a little newsletter for one of these companies this week, and Upstart was the focal point. And the reason I have to give it from both sides, and I have to be fair. We got a huge bearish imbalance right here, right? Fair enough. Everybody can agree on that, right? Now, the reason why I still like it is because we are in a bullish market structure. We got our discount retracement. And now, to me, the last piece to the puzzle is to go up there and sweep that high at 72.58. That would complete my model. And if that happens, the contracts that I'm currently in right now, they're going to be like $25 in the money, and I still have 2 months left on them. So that could be some serious coin on each contract, is right around $300. So that would be pretty sweet. But I, again, like, where does this trade go to shit for me? And realistically, I would probably not be so happy about 26. And again, when I bought it, it was down here at 34. So I was risking about $8 to make, what is that, 38. So to me, that made sense. For you, it might be different. You might maybe be looking towards more, or, I don't know. Everybody's risk profile is much different. So, but I always just make sure it doesn't make sense. Like, let's just, for an example, say we never made this second run up right here, right? And we cut off all those candles and we're down here, right? And we get back down into here, and I'm looking to buy it. Let's just say off this candle, I'm looking at 32 to make or $7, right? But my risk is it's still $8. That doesn't make sense to me, right? So it has to make sense in a way where me taking that $8 risk is worth it, right? So let me just come back over here. I see we have a bunch of cool. Yeah, so Kat, get on WBA. I know you just joined. I think Summertime also just joined. So if you guys just joined and you want to take part, pick any chart that you want, any time frame, preferably a higher time frame. If you want to go lower, that's fine. It's not sharing too bad in here. Actually, you can do whatever time frame you want. But we're gonna go through them, and I'll see what you do, and then I'm gonna do whatever that name is that you do, whatever time frame, and then we'll put them in, and you can use that as a you can compare it, and I'll also look at yours, and we can make sure. But at a certain point, I think it's good that we start to like be more independent, and not saying that you guys don't trade on your own, because you do. I don't do, I don't say anything, but I want you to feel comfortable being independent, and feeling like you got it down. Um so yeah, let's go through right now. So let's see Sean's. Oh, okay, yeah, it opens up preview for me. Okay, so Sean, I see you have Etsy on the daily time frame. Okay, so I'm going to do that one really quick, and I'll share what I got in there. Here's my daily chart. Um,
I also
what's up?
I have it on weekly too. Weekly, daily, 4 hours should be
Okay,
in there.
cool. Yeah, so I'm gonna do the weekly just because to me it's the most clean. It's the least amount of candles and still gives you a good overall direction. Um, Gary, I know you said you had a question. If you want to pop that in or you want to shout that out, and then as we keep, oh here, okay, so
I just want a structure so I can write it down because that way I don't have to keep finding the video and I kind of forget stuff. So if I can just write it down once, like I know you said discount, volume, imbalance.
Oh, sure. Yeah. So I'll go step by step, really. Yeah. So,
Appreciate it, man.
yeah, no, you're good. Let me see. So, my question is your rules and structure. I'm sure you have said it, but this time I'm going to type it out because I need to follow structure. And yeah, dude, I needed structure too. Trust me. I totally been there. And that was something that was really missing from my trading. I needed like, I would go on these crazy streaks where I'd be ripping so much money and I would be playing like trading with way too much money. And then when you're on a run and then you get hit with a, oh buddy, you're wrong, and you don't stop out in the proper place or something like that, you give back so much money. And that's something that I needed, and I needed to stop doing because I was very I guess the term would be like I was like a cowboy. I was just shooting from the hip and hoping shit would stick, I guess you could say. But okay, so let me just look at this first off because this one I can tell off the bat is going to be a little bit more difficult than a lot of these other names. So ready? Here's our swing high. The reason why I'm going from this high is because we took out these lows and these lows with this price run, right? So now the way I go through it is for each green candle that comes, I just see, did it get to 50% on a retracement? Nope. Oh crap, we're running out of time here. I see. Oh, I got 10 minutes. We'll be able to do a couple of these, and then we can pop back in. Maybe we can even just go into Cantina and just not record the latter half of this, which is fine. But anyways, from each green candle, I just put it there just for a second, just to see. Did we pop up to 50? No, we didn't. Okay, so the range ain't set. Range is not set, not set. Keep on going down, keep on going down. Okay. Okay. And look, even if we didn't get to 50% at a certain point, and this is our low for now, I would just keep it there. But I just have to keep in mind that since we didn't get to 50%, there's a possibility it's not set. So we continue on here. Still no 50% on that run up here, down to here. Finally, we get the range set. Great. Awesome. Okay. So from this point, we have a bearish structure on a what is this like? A mid to longer term time frame. First, next thing from that point would be identify your swing highs and lows. That would be our high at 102.81. Here's our swing low right off the bat. These are easy ones, 58.20. Now, I also want to identify this right here. Not a swing high technically, but just a high that I would be that's worth noting in my opinion. And also, it's going to be the start of a bearish imbalance. So from here, we'll go from that high here down to this low here. Boom. And Gary, I'm going to get back. I'm going to say it all in order really in a second. I just want to use this as like the uh I guess to map it out if you will. But also, okay, so here, that's what we have so far. We have a bearish volume imbalance, another bearish volume imbalance, aka gap down. But we also, if we look at this candle right here, you're going to notice that there's no wicks on either side until this point here. So the way I look at that, I just add another little box there, and just because you have to identify that as, hey, look, that is also bearish, right? This would be like a bearish fair value gap. There's no wicks on either side of it. So to me, we have to take that into account. Now, we have set the range. In my opinion, this is a pretty good set, right? We got back up to 50, all good. So from here, what can we look at and see? We have, do we have a first low? Yeah, this is a little bit sloppier of a breaker, but you have a low, a high, a lower low. So upon the break of this candle right here, we have our bullish breaker. Now, right, you might not think much of it right now, but look how perfect this is. Ready? As we break, come on, make it black. What are we doing? Yeah, ready? Cool. Oh, what are we? Come on. There it is. Good. Okay, so as we take out the high of that candle, right? Boom, you'll notice we get back into that breaker and we get back into that breaker and we take off from that breaker. So to me, that would be a good, uh, heads up. This is a good spot for that reversal and or maybe some level of confirmation that our range actually is set at this point, right? So we continue higher, we run up, we get into discount, and right now we're dealing with a lot. We have multiple bearish imbalances in discount of the range. Now let's just take a look over here and let's see, have we taken out any noteworthy higher time frame liquidity? I'm sure we have. That kind of gave us the little bit of a spark in order to give us that jump higher. So let's just look right here. I see a bit bullish imbalance right here. Okay, we'll use that one just for right now. Where's this green? Okay. Um, actually, you know what? This is worth noting right here. This is gonna be funny. Ready? It might be. It's probably gonna be too low, actually. Yeah, no, it's too low. Never mind. I just had a little idea there, but here, right back over to here, and you'll notice, we took out these lows, so there was higher time frame swept. But check that. Ready? Right into discount. Right up here. Now, this range is bearish. We have a lot of junk in between us at this point. We have multiple bearish imbalances, and we also have a little bearish fair value gap right here, which we got into. We rejected this thing and came back up pretty strong to close out the day, obviously. Wouldn't be like my most A plus setup. Um, Also, something worth noting, this is also a bearish breaker right here. You have your high, low, higher high. So your bearish breaker candle would be right here. Bingo. And we rejected it thus far. That's another thing that you can look if you want to have all that on your chart. But not the best setup, but honestly, the way I would look at this range ain't too bad. To me, it would be one of those where I'd say, okay, this is either going to be a great short or a pretty quick stop out. I still don't really like it here. Just thinking like, okay, what's my risk on this? Probably about 16 points. So if I'm risking 16, what do I got to be able to make more than that at least? But 83 down to 56, 58. So about 25 points while risking, what is this? Like 16, right? That was what I said. 25 to make 16. I don't know. Does it make sense to you? Maybe. If not, that would, that's something that you got to take into account. But that would be where I'm at with Etsy right now. So I'm just gonna look at what Sean has right now really quick, and then we can pop over into Cantina. I hope you have those charts saved. Sorry, I didn't even realize that there was gonna be a time limit on this thing. So your first one, Sean, was the daily. So I'm gonna skip on that, and we'll go to the weekly really quick. Where is this? Right here. Okay, that's the 4 hour. And now let me go to the weekly. Yeah, so you have pretty much exactly what I have there, right? Yeah, you do. Yeah, so I'm from what I gather, yours is uh a bearish idea. And I would say that's not a crazy idea at all. I'm just thinking like, does the risk reward make sense on that? If we're
I
just
was
gonna,
actually thinking, I see the big bearish imbalance on the weekly. So I
yeah.
see how, like, if you look at the 4 hour, that's like a 75% retracement. We just like skyrocketed off of. I honestly think the risk to reward is easier going higher than it is
Oh,
going lower, but cautiously, right? Because,
yeah, no,
I
that's it,
think,
right. It's just the timing. Like if you're gonna trade options with that, like it could take a lot of time to get through this bearish imbalance.
oh
That's
yeah,
the caveat. So it's like, how far out on the options do you go? I mean, look, if you can get 16 points on this, where would be my point of like, okay, like I'm good on this, probably would be around 78. So at that point, you're risking really $5 to make 16 to the upside. Does that make sense? Maybe,
yeah.
but
I initially today before this, I was waiting for it to break that low right there that it bounced off of, and then go to a 4 hour bearish for value gap. Actually, it would have been a PBR and then take a put off of that, but that didn't work out.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know. I'm seeing your 4 hour right now. Oh, I see the balance price range. Yeah, right, right. But all right. Well, I mean, I hope that's helpful, Sean. I know you've been charting this way for a long time, and you know all you know the ins and outs there. So, um, but no, that's good. Yeah, we have the same imbalance. I mean, it is a bearish market structure. Where does bearish market structure shift? It would be above that 102.81. That's the bottom line there. But anyways, with this final 2 minutes here before we'll just flip over to the cantina. I apologize to anybody who's not here and watching this right now, but um, I don't know if it's actually, you know what? I could probably just set up another one and send the link again in the cantina chat. That might be better. I could record it that way, but just to get to Gary's question, because really it's not all that, much with this last minute 40. So basically, in terms of like rules and structure, what I look for automatic is the swing highs and swing lows. That's the first thing that I identify. So following that, I then look towards what market structure are we in? Have we taken a high or have we taken out a low? If we've taken out a high, to me, it's a bullish market structure. If we've taken out a low, to me, it's a bearish market structure. Then from that point, I'll take, let's say it's a bullish market structure. I'll take my fibs from the low to the high that took out that previous high, and I'll have it the range mapped. And then from that point, I will just wait for a retracement back down into discount. Specifically, it would be even better if it was a 62 to 79% bullish imbalance. So there's got to be a bullish imbalance there in discount for me. If there's not, I don't really want it. Um, and then I look for the highs as my target. I have that imbalance there. Really, the candle that's made that imbalance as my stop loss, and I let it roll from there. Sometimes I do end up playing that retracement back down into discount if it is a big range. I just wait for one bearish imbalance to occur to send us lower from that point. So that's really that. I think that this is going to shut off on us. I'm going to start a new one like ASAP. Yeah. So I'll go back to it, Gary, as well. But you could also check my trading model, that video on YouTube. It's pretty much just that. So, but all right, hold on. Let me just shut this and then I will flip back and I'll send